In today's enterprise networks, we often have these big switches, and some of these switches have tens or even hundreds of ports on them. Well, many times we don't want to have hundreds of people on the same network, so we use a technology called VLANs or virtual LANs to group together different ports and put them in their own little world, their own little subnet. And when you do that, you connect all of these different VLANs together with a router so that you can then control the flow of this traffic as it moves between the different subnets on your network. Usually we're grouping these different subnets together maybe by function. Maybe we want all of the marketing department on their own VLAN. Maybe we would like the engineering department to be on their own VLAN, and maybe manufacturing gets their own VLAN because they are accessing local resources that would make their communication go as quickly and efficiently as possible. We often have this capability integrated into our network access control, and that's in a very simple way when people are connecting to the network that they might automatically be placed in the right virtual LAN for their particular function. So if I'm logging on and I'm logging on as a marketing person, my network access control software and hardware that I have recognizes this and automatically puts me in the marketing VLAN. If I'm logging on as an engineer, I'm automatically put into the engineering VLAN, regardless of where I might be sitting in the building, or maybe if I'm sitting in a different building. These VLANs allow us to have a lot of flexibility at how we're able to do that. We're able to connect together all of these VLANs through something called a trunk. We might have a single wire between different switches, and inside of that wire, we might build out separate VLANs inside of that so that we're able to send the marketing VLAN and the engineering VLAN and the shipping and receiving VLAN all through that same wire. Even though it is a single shared resource, we're able to separate it out using this VLAN technology. Let's take a look at how that might work if we were to put it into a network diagram. Here's the old way of doing things. We have some separate switches down here, and we have a router that's really combined with a switch up here at the top of the screen. But in the old world of doing things, we would have everybody in the same section of the building, and they might perhaps everybody in the marketing department, these are the red guys, might connect to their own switch. The manufacturing team might connect to their own switch. The engineering department might connect to their own switch. And if any of those different subnets needed to talk to each other, they would all go up to the single router, which would then route that traffic back down to the appropriate subnet. In a perfect world, that would be exactly what we'd want. But we know that in our organizations today, people may be in different buildings. Part of the marketing department may be on different floors of a building. You can't have everybody geographically located in the same place. By using these VLANs, we're now able to still keep everybody on their same subnet. So everybody who is in the marketing department, even though they're in different buildings or in different floors, they're still connecting onto the same local subnet. And those two devices, those two red people would be able to communicate to each other without having to route to a different subnet. Same thing for the folks that we've identified with blue, same things for the folks identified with green. Even though they're sitting on a different floor, they're sitting in a different building, that doesn't matter, but we have automatically placed them in the correct VLAN for their particular department. If we do need to talk to, for instance, a different subnet, we'll go all the way up to the router and then have the router route us down to the appropriate subnet. So the process really hasn't changed. We're still routing between subnets. The only difference now is we're able to separate these subnets into these virtual networks, these VLANs, and be able to manage the people and the resources a lot more efficiently based on their function or based on what they're doing for the organization.